Yatugamba Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine nti ebintu bino bisoboka singa tussa kimu ng'enkuyege anti n'obukolwa nga bwakuŋŋaanye butwala entatinta engo nga terinnya. So naffe Abannayuganda tumanye nti amaanyi tugalina, amaanyi gaffe ffe maanyi g'abantu General Museveni jamutwala nga talinnya. Akalino yabyogeranga olugero ng'oluyimba ng'ebyokusaaga bangi bagamba oyo agereesa General Museveni takwatibwa ko tagegenyigenyezebwa nga balowooza muno tebisoboka ate nno bisoboka ebintu bino era ddala bya ddala ate nga byalaali General Museveni mutabani we ne kafamire kakiriki kaabwe kebalina kebalimu kebadde beesibye ku Bannayuganda okukola ebikolobero okubba okutta okutulugunya okusaanyaawo kali mu kudismantolinga kali mu ssaawa zaake ez'akawungeezi oba ez'akamalirizo akali eno ku mugguukiriro essaawa yonna kagenda kusatuuka kagwo kasaanewo ng'ebibadde bijja bituuka ku badikiteeta mu mawanga ag'enjawulo. President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu aliko omwoyo w'amagezi oba aliko omwoyo w'okutegeera oba omwoyo w'okulaba ebijja mu maaso zino ensonga yazoogerako nti zigenda kutuukawo abangi nga balowooza mbuno Kyagulanyi Ssentamu just akangamu bukanzi kati nno ekiriwo General Museveni namusala atuuse dda ku nnyooge so tulaba akatambi kano tusobola tukala ate tweyongereyo maaso wali tutuuke.
To reach to you, Martin Luther King, that leaders must be able to identify individuals who can play big roles, when to balance these roles and how to switch these roles, and how to be able to identify when individuals become ineffective in their roles. You as leaders, you must look and identify leaders in your local grassroots movement, and you must learn to balance your roles and how to switch between those roles. And you must be able to identify when those individuals become ineffective, then when to switch them and release them from their obligation. Okay, Martin Luther King is one of my favorite heroes. I admire Martin Luther King, and Martin Luther King's daughter, Yolanda King, was one of my favorite friends. She died so suddenly many years ago, and I always asked her, Yolanda, when did your father do what he did? And he simply said, he loved my people. And so in closing, Martin Luther King says, a social movement that only moves people is merely a revolt. A movement that changes both people and institutions is a revolution. If there is any takeaway, my fellow colleagues, this morning, this is your takeaway. And I want you to reflect upon this. A social movement that only moves people is merely a revolt. A movement that changes people and institutions is a revolution. In other words, what did Martin Luther King mean by this? Martin Luther King was talking to his audience that a mere move of people dressed in a red beret with no goals and objectives is merely a walk to work. A revolution that aspires to the greater good. A revolution that lifts people up. A revolution that inspires people. A revolution that builds nations and its young generation to fight for freedom. A revolution that aspires for the greater good. A revolution that changes the minds of people. Is a revolution that is changing the institutions of our country, that is crying for liberty, that's crying for freedom. A revolution that has built a fiercely young man to rise up to the top, through which nations cry through him for liberty, freedom, and to move on and to go straight. That is a revolution that changes, that has changed people, that has changed institutions, that has exposed the country with its corruption and bribery, that has changed the country with its atrocities and human rights abuse, that has advocated for change, that has put a stopgap on the way European nations fund the government, that has put a cap and a stoppage on funding the country's economy. That is a revolution that we all aspire. And so Martin Luther King was talking to his audience that let us not only be a social movement that walks people, but let us be a movement that inspires and lifts us all to the greater nation, to the greater good of the people, to be stimulated, to be inspired, and to move us all to the country, to the motherland that we all aspire so much for the greater good. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for this morning. I go back from where I started, that we can only be a revolution that does the very best we can do, that aspires for the greater change, that builds a liberty, a freedom for all of us. And this is the strategic framework for social movements, a practical guide. And I hope you picked something out of this civil class and the questions that I've asked to understand the definitions. And so in closing, my assignment for you this morning is write, get your pen and a paper. Your assignment is to write a one-page paper by provide me an example of a power holder strategy and opposition movement used to counter or oppose a power holder strategy. In a nutshell, write me an example of a power holder strategy that helps in fighting for democracy and countering the power holder strategy. Write me that one-page paper and send it to my email, americanleadership94@gmail.com. I thank you very much for being good listeners. I turn the time over for questions and in helping out with comments or any questions, and feel free to make a comment. I turn the time over to Dorcas. Tina, your hand is up. Please go ahead. Ask a question or make a comment. Tina, unmute. Tina Milembe. Okay, while Tina Milembe is working on a studio, I'll go to Banasula. Your hand is up. Go ahead, make a question, make a comment. Banasula, your hand is up. Make a question or a comment.
Okay, sorry about that. When you called on me, Professor, we weren't able to unmute. And for some reason, I can't unmute my video. But thank you so much for such a wonderful work you're doing. I've been able to have the pleasure on being on a couple of your classes this week, and I'm really learning a lot. I want to give some encouragement, if that's okay.
Sure, please go ahead. We love that. We need it.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So I've been noticing a lot here in the diaspora, as per the struggle for Uganda's liberation. People are stuck on stage 5, where they feel powerless, they're given up, and they just feel like all hope is gone. I just want to give a little bit of encouragement about that. 2 Timothy chapter 1. Please, if you get time to read this, those who are feeling weak and feeling like giving up, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verses 6 and 7. The gist of it is, stir up within you, when God put the hunger in our souls to help one another, to help our brothers and sisters who are suffering back in Uganda, we had that drive in the beginning. Remember, during the campaign trials, we all had that big drive, you know, we were all pushing so hard, you know, and then we came to a point where people were getting like discouraged and they just felt like giving up, you know. So I just want to tell our fellow brothers and sisters, don't give up. Get up there on stage 7 and 8 with Chalgani. He's up there. He's out there. What is he doing? He's not giving up. He's pushing through. He's giving people inspiration. So be the person to give him inspiration. He's put out a documentary that it could have gotten his life taken from him, but did he give up? No, he kept going. Just like Jesus when he was on the cross, he didn't give up. For us, he died for all of our sins. He carried all our sins. He died for all of us, you know, no matter what. He knew in our hearts that you know, we're going to give up. He knew the outcome of everything. But brothers and sisters, I'm here to tell you today, please do not give up. Have the faith in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. The faith, now faith is a substance of things hoped for, but the evidence of things not seen. We might not be seeing in the physical and the natural, we might not be seeing results that we want, because yesterday we wanted this done yesterday. So we may not be seeing that, but know that there are results, because the documentary that's out and now it's opening the eyes of people around the world. That was a big movement that we needed. So brothers and sisters, please get out of stage 5 and get caught up with the rest of us and stay strong no matter what. Be strong and keep that drive and keep moving and keep pushing. Like Katie said yesterday on we were on a class. I was a guest on in your class on yesterday, and Katie was talking about organization. You know, sometimes you just got to reorganize. You know, your first set of goals, you might have hit number 5 where you're stagnated and feel powerless and feel like giving up hope. Re-energize, reorganize. Everybody needs to get together and struggle, because we are all fighting for the same cause. We're fighting for our brothers and sisters to be free. So please, if you see somebody who's in stage 5, encourage them, get them a push, you know, because in life in general, you know, sometimes we just get blah, you know, like, but give them a word of encouragement, you know, tell them, hey, look, there's a protest coming up on the 19th of April in Washington, D.C. They're gathering at Lafayette Square at 9:30 a.m. Keep pushing, you know. And if you don't like somebody, that's okay. Do you think the Roman soldiers liked Jesus? No, they killed him. But sometimes as adults, we have to learn to put our differences aside, learn how to agree to disagree until we get to that goal. I'll see you in a new Uganda. People power, our power. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tina. I appreciate that. Thanks for your comment, Tina. Next, let's have Demi. Demi, your hand is up. Go ahead and make a comment or question. Unmute.
Yes, Sister Demi.
Hi, hi, Professor. Thanks so much. Mine is a question. I missed your stages. I lost the network and I caught up at 60 stage. But still, it is a valid question. What you gonna do? What are we, NUP or People Power, we gonna do about our differences? Because right now we are dominated. You have said about all the players, the elite players. NUP is dominated by social media bloggers who are anti-elite and they don't accept anything to do with the elite. You have talked about religious elites, religious players. So for me, I see everybody is needed on the board. So what are we going to do to get the public accept everybody as a key player? And what are we going to do with the social media bloggers who are telling people that elites are bad, we don't want them, or what they are doing? What are we going to do? Because we need everybody on the board. We have a dictator who cannot be taken out by foot soldiers. We need legislative, we need political agenda. we need all sorts of things. So that's my question, because we have got bad radicals occupying the center of the party, and we moderate, we've been left out, because it's like they're making noise. Oh, if you don't do this, oh, you have to do this. So, Professor, it's up to you to tell me, how are we going to make, my hero number one is Nelson Mandela, and he talks about tolerance. So
Yes.
how are we going to see that people, they tolerate each other opinion, accept, like Tina said, we disagree to agree. It looks like people, if you don't have the same view, they call you, you are M7, you are PLU, or you are so and so. They don't understand the meaning of having different opinion as not as bad as having the same opinion. So what are we going to do?
Wow, thank you so much, Sister Demi. That was a beautiful, well-articulated, composed questionnaire in a narrative with so many other comments that I'm going to make on. I'll give Teacher Mimi a chance to answer a few of that, and then I'll add on. Teacher Mimi, your hand is up, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Professor, and thank you for that lesson. It was very insightful and educative and informative. I, for one, and I'm just making a comment, based on what you've taught, is that very important, the way we look at and I think this is something, it's about being educated, all of us being educated, is when you look at the power holders or the junta, these people make alliances, and that is something we lack in our side. Everybody will see is bad. That is associating with this. So we have to turn around, because Professor said that we have to also kind of copy what the power holders are doing. You know, they do alliances. How do they do alliances? They put spies in us, you know, to spy what we are doing, and they learn what we do. So we have to do the same things they are doing. How do we create alliances with these people? Because these are the people who are influencing and actually delaying us, because they should be on board with us. But it doesn't mean that you just take them wholeheartedly. You go, you learn, because the way this guy Museveni works, he plants spies in us, they learn what we do, they learn where we are going, they learn every tactic we do the same thing. So me, that is my thinking. And if we just keep on saying so and so is let's find out if somebody is doing that or spying on us, let us also spy on them and see. And then, like Professor said, that we have to put those things in the public. If somebody is spying on us, so how do we win these religious people? We have to get into their circles and know how we can win them over. But if we are outside, we will never know how to get them into our camps. So that is my contribution on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Teacher Amelia. On addition to that, Sister Demi, we definitely need all aspects of different influencers in the political arena, in the diplomacy arena. That's why we go to Washington to advocate and petition to our senators. We would not have done that knowing our senators and councilmen or our mayors aren't gonna do anything. That's why we go to IMF headquarters. That's why we go to Geneva in Switzerland. That's why we go to Germany in Munich to advocate for presidents. That's why we go to meet different presidents of all areas. So going back to our bloggers and our young activists, it all comes down by us educating them, teaching them about the power of negotiation, collaboration, and partnership. We need doctors to treat our foot soldiers on the streets. We need engineers to help in different aspects. So we need teachers to advocate, to mobilize, to empower, and personal knowledge. We need religious leaders to help in the spirituality of counseling and therapy to our mistreated prisoners upon coming out. Okay, so we need the elite, we need bankers to teach how money, financial aspects, and budget works in a new government. So we don't need bushmen coming to take over government with no knowledge of how economy works. Then it will be the same, taking out the same government and replacing it with the old wine in a new bottle. So we need all of that. And so I always advocate for our bloggers that we need all different background of all different status quo. We need tribal cultural leaders to emphasize the norm and the cultural norms of love one another from that perspective, and peacemakers. And so that's what I always advocate for them, and will continue to do so. I wish we could all have them come and attend some of our lectures and get to understand this. That's why political science and civil class education programs are banned in Uganda, because these are the ones that emulate, stimulate, empower, open eyes of the ones that don't know about these things. And so we all have that. And let me ask Marie. Marie, your hand is up. Please make a comment or ask a question.
Yes, thank you. I think they're muted. Yes, Marie, and for the sake of time, after Marie, I think we'll take the other hands as well, and then we'll have Professor feedback. Yes, Sister Marie, please unmute and speak to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You people with this, your American English, I'll do my best. Okay, for me, I have two points here. One is about when you say that most of the people, they are like feeling giving up. There are so many things that causing this. And I would suggest if you can put a team that can be going around checking on people person to person to know what is their problems, because there are so many people has different problems, and they don't know who to talk to. They don't know how to deal with those problems. For example, myself, I have problems that I've been telling to many people in our chapters, but nobody has ever bothered to talk to me or to advise me how to handle the situation like this or whatever. And just me, but I know already so many, like 3 other comrades who like given up because of different problems that also caused by some of our comrades. So, I mean, we need to reach up to each and everybody, person to person. I mean, to privately, not to chapters, but you call a person. I remember Professor David, you used to do that some years ago. You used to call people and you were kind, talking to people, person to person. I think we still need this to empower people, because, I mean, there are people who are just lonely. They get so many problems and they don't know whom to talk to. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister. We will move on to Reggie, and then Godfrey and Banasula, and then roll over to Professor to give us a feedback. Yes, Comrade Godfrey, how are you? Please come in.
Thank you very much from Professor David. But in answer to Sister Demi's concerns, my view is that respect should be earned. And just because you are an elite, yeah, you shouldn't work hard on that department. If we have our social movement commands and laws, and we abide by them, then everyone gets to be respected regardless of other differences, because differences exist. We also got to understand that we are novices on this game. We didn't come in from the political background. Circumstances forced us to join the revolution, from the president all the way down. Now, if we understand that, then yes, we are open to learning. Yeah. If we are open to learning, then we should accept criticism or admit when we are wrong. But when we are blatantly wrong and we've broken the rules, there's no way people will give you that respect. That's my view, Professor Andemi. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. We'll get one other question from Katiti. Please go ahead, make question or comment, then I'll answer all at the end. Katiti Morris, can you unmute? Katiti Morris Mugisha, unmute. Okay, I think Katiti Morris can't unmute. I'll go ahead, I think, and then answer some of those questions. Yes, I really appreciate my comrade, Comrade Marie. Thank you for that. Yes, back then our revolution has transitioned, and you are very right. I used to call and check in chapters around the world and just do a weekly check-in report. And back then I was the People Power coordinator for the West Coast region. Back then it included Canada until I told President Canada would need to be independent and other chapters become independent. And then I transitioned into the Leadership Training Education Department for the People Power NOOP program. And so I left the rest to the diaspora chapter head to be able to do that. But definitely I will, from now on, Comrade Murray, I want to promise you that I'll call in and check in comrades around the world from different chapters in my capacity and just see what can be done. Dialogue, discussion, differences can all be mitigated on the table. And yes, there's been a bit of a communication gap leading to lack thereof, enthusiasm, energy, and backing away or standing down on some of our programs. And of course, there's been a little bit of other things that have been going on behind closed doors. But definitely I will check in and then call in. And number two, in terms of respect for our elders and for the educated and the elite, yes, that has to continue. And like you said, I totally agree with you. We have to continue to dialogue and hear each other out and listen each other in. That way, it helps us to have a breakthrough, regardless of our differences of opinion. There is no revolution that doesn't have disagreement. It's not a healthy revolution if there's no dissent. But at the end of the day, we get together in a spirit of Ubuntu and say, this is the strategy that we are going to take. we are going to eliminate this. Let us all agree on one principle and one point of action. And in that, it helps us to move forward. I'll go ahead, Dorcas.
Yes, I was saying thank you so much. I think you were asking Katiti to unmute. Comrades, we are drawing to a close. Katiti, I think he's gone off. Yes, we do have a couple of hands. Reggie, just a minute or so. Banasula, did you come in? Reggie, you're unmuted. Yes.
Yes, I promised to be back at the beginning, and I had to fulfill that. Number one, I want to thank Professor so much. Today's class has been, we use the word valid and accurate. Not everything that is valid is accurate, but this was very valid and accurate. It was very specific. Everybody who listened would fall somewhere and understand. I think you brought the whole picture perception from a micro view that we have always had to a macro view, from that general view to a very specific view. Now we know the category of religious people, we have the category of the elite class or wealthy and the poor. We're able to dissect and understand, which really helps thought processes. So I want to thank you so much. I also want to thank Katie. Even when you're sick, you showed up. We don't do that for granted. I also wanted to supplement on Tina for people who, sorry, it might sound a little bit harsh, but okay, today, look around and see, we now have to be given permission. Museveni has made a law. So you're not naturally a Ugandan, you have to be given permission to be a Ugandan. He made identifications that expired. So many identifications are expired. And remember, they mentioned that each identification that expires, every day that passes, you have to pay 40,000 shillings, which is about maybe $10, $15, I don't know. Every day that passes, okay? It's insanity. Look, we either choose to participate and retain our sense of belongings as Ugandans, because it's been taken away. The sooner you wake up, you have no choice. You either leave, you don't belong anywhere, or you live begging somebody who is honestly not a Ugandan. Has never denied that. He's a Rwandese, and he's unpresided over the definition of if we have to be Ugandan or not. So you have no choice about that. So keep praying and keep going. Do not give up. All right. Back to you, Dorcas.
Thank you, brother. Apologies to rush you. Yes, we drawing to a close, comrades. Let's keep our submission to a minimum so that we get Professor to come back. Comrade Banasula, apologies, your mic was not unmuted. Please unmute. Have a few.
Okay.
Yes, you're loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much, Comrade Dorcas, for this opportunity. Thank you so much, Professor Seji, for your time and your leadership expressed in front of us. We thank you so much. My comments will be about some people complaining about the unlanded people. Unlanded people have been let down by the elites. In Uganda, first of all, Dictator Museveni made sure that the should not work the way everybody expects them to. Always the elite, the dictator is attacking them, put them in his ditch where he wants them. So that they do, he exposes them through. I mean, after them is from. So the unlanded plants,
Sorry, comrade Banasula, apologies, I've muted you because your sound is distorted. I don't know if it's my gadgets playing up. Do you want to remove the earpiece or something like that? Because I think that is distorting your sound. Unmute and try again. Just a minute, please. Thanks. Unmute. You have a message. Okay, there you go.
We can't hear you,
Comrade.
Banasula. We can't hear you. While Banasula works his studio operational, can we go to somebody else, Dorcas?
Hi, yes, Banasula. Did you want to try it?
Yeah, well, I totally understand. I can make a quick comment on what Banasula was saying and where he was going with his.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah, I do understand, Banasula,
okay,
with your comment and what is happening. But yes, some of our educational elites within the context of Uganda have been a disappointment. And this has been propagated by the dictator himself. One of my distinguished friend, Norbert Mao, very well educated, and then look where he is at, and so many others. But I totally understand and I totally agree your pain, but not. There are few isolated instances, but others have stood the test of time and are still continuing with the zeal to liberate our country in a better ways. Our next person.
Yes, thank you. Apologies, Banasula, you come in at the end while you sort out your sound. Let's have Dr. Mugenyi, please do come in, then Madways, Ben, then Banasula will be last. Yes, Comrade James, Dr. James.
Oh, yes, Docas, thank you. I'll be very brief since I'm even in bed. But one or two things that I wanted to mention, and I think I've just been commenting about taxation somewhere. What Museveni succeeded in doing was there's what we call cohesion, community cohesion. He first broke that. And that's what he uses most. Now, the business people are fighting a battle minus using the customers, minus using the end people. Come to health workers like us, you'll find, I was just asking myself, and in fact, I'm on a chat on a WhatsApp group. I was like, why would a doctor, a consultant, you're earning 17 million Ugandan shillings, you fought for it, and you left a patient who can't even afford an aspirin. So there's that thing that Museveni did to break what we call community cohesion, community services, where people look at themselves alone. People think I have to fight everything alone and put it on my table alone. So that is what the biggest problem that we have. The fight, for example, us in the diaspora, the elites. I sometimes keep asking myself, but why am I in the diaspora? This is a question I ask myself. I am not an envoy. And yesterday when I went to the state capital, in fact, Docas, you are one of the people I consulted. I'm even referring to the other sister who said our English. I didn't know how to present, but Docas, you helped me on what I was going to present, and so what I presented. And so we can consult each other, but still there's that fear. Who do I consult and he's not a spy? For us in America, people keep on mentioning Akatua, that he poison here. Why would somebody who is sensible come to America to use poison here? So that those small things that we need to fight, and then perhaps finally we look at the bigger picture. What's the goal that we want? As Ugandans, we are going to continue suffering. Maybe suffering will let us learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. Let's have Comrade Madways. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Docas. Thank you, Professor, and everyone here. Mine is a question, and is about strategy of takeoff. Professor, what should we do to be one? Because you say in the strategy of takeoff, there is need to be organizing protests whereby to cause to get attention from the public. But most of the time when such protests are organized, we get division, we get divided, whereby some of the comrades in the struggle, they say they don't support it, they don't know about the protest, who organized it. What can we do to be one so that when a message is going around, they know this is about the struggle and everyone is ready to participate? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, Professor, will roll to you, then we'll do a last two hands after you've come back to us. Professor,
okay.
over to you. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. You asked a very, very good question about stage 4, one of the categories of different revolutions in the social movement. Of course, stage 4 is takeoff, and that involves campaigns, protests, rallies in large crowds, civil disobedience in local communities nationwide. Now, over in the past, President Bobi Wine has called for protests, peaceful protests. Guess how many people showed up? 24. And I saw President Kyagulanyi with a placard and other people banging pots and other people taking videos and cameras. And I'm like, really? You are up on Namilembe Road clapping and taking a video instead of coming to participate. So lack of participation, number 1, fear and intimidation, number 2. Are you that angry enough to go and walk with the president for a peaceful protest? Or are you very comfortable where you are that you don't think there is a need to do so? Hence, the question is, how do masses come to participate in a peaceful protest that removes the junta? 1, you are angry, tired, and saying enough is enough. 2, you are in need for a better country that you so proudly cherish and love. Finally, regardless of the consequences, I am determined I will go and I'll be. Finally, the communication piece. How is this protest and rally communicated to? You may communicate to an insider that passes the information over. And so strategy, effective communication, mobilization, and sensitization is key to a powerful protest that yield results. Thank you very much. Next.
Thank you so much, Professor. Yes, Comrade Peter, you come in, then Mr. Banasula and Sister Mimi, in that order. Please, let's keep to a minute. Yes, Comrade Peter, please. Oh, you muted. Unmute, please.
Oh, thank you so much. Can I speak on audio, or I can even include the video?
Don't worry, whichever is comfortable for you. Your security is important.
Thank you so much, Docus and the Professor. I'm sorry, first I pass my apologies because I joined the meeting precisely very late. But at least I can have something to submit. I am called Peter Mugasa. I'm from Bunyangabu in Greater Toro, but I live and work in Kenya, in the Mombasa city, and also I work in Dar es Salaam. But I follow closely the events that happen in our country, and of course I'm an interested party. I'm an NUP supporter. Mine would just be an appreciation to this initiative that we need to engage at all times, share knowledge and share ideas, and then maybe we continue growing the network to have our people back home educated and told how we can proceed and how we can work to have a change, and a change that will be peaceful in our country. Uganda, and especially in the region where I come from, Toro region, the masses, when you go through or speak to the people there, might be very ignorant or they are intimidated, and they actually need to be told this message. And on the other forums where we are members, we try as much as possible to speak and tell the people how things are going bad and wrong in our country, and we always encourage them to accept to be told and to learn and accept the truth. Otherwise, it is a duty that all of us have to take. I'm very pleased with the gentleman who was submitting about the elites of our country who have betrayed us, and that has been my message, especially to the people in our region, that the elites have actually disappointed our country. And me, I tell them, their grandchildren would judge them. Things are going very wrongly. You guys who are far away from Uganda, me, I can tell you, things are very, very bad back home. So we need to double the effort. We need to do much more, and we need to really fight hard to liberate our country. I thank you so much, and I thank God that I've been part of this discussion for God and my country.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Comrade Peter. Banasula, please do come in. Let's keep it to a brief. Yes.
Am I loud and clear?
Yes, you are. A little bit louder, please.
Thank you so much for this other chance. We have to know that in fact, most of who have really took this revolution further and to take it in each and all our mother and Uganda is unlanded people. I hate it passion when someone turns to say that the unlanded people that they get on social media, they do this and this. It's because of the operation that people we have gone through. We've gone load. We've prayed load. So many people's lives being stuck because of Dictator 7. And the bad things that Dictator 7 uses these so-called aids to mingle everything that people are unlearned. Another the time when we ask from the direct election, but we
Comrade, your sound is good. I don't know. I think it's just me. Or... No. Biganye, sorry. Comrade, your sound is a bit poor. Apologies, but I think Professor gets the gist. Yes, Sister Mimi, please do come in.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. Thank you so much. I just wanted to do a comment. To me, I'm looking at these stages, and I really, really think, in my own opinion, that there is a lot of work we need to do. I don't think even we're on 5, we are actually on 4. And maybe even not 4, we are 3. We are reading, that tells us how much more work we need to do. in this struggle. We think we are getting there, but we are not yet there. So that really has to get us thinking, and also get our leaders thinking, to really rethink and really see which stage are we in on this revolution, and how much more work we need to do, that each one of us needs to buckle our belts and pull up our stocks and do much more. I think that's what we need to do. About the elites, they are such a disappointment, but are we going to just stick on there until when? We have to move on. The struggle has to go on. They will find us on the way, but there's a lot of work we have to do. After this lecture is what I'm getting out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister, for that. Comrade Balansula, I really feel bad that your submission has been distorted. Do you want to try just a few seconds? Then rolling the mic over. Thank you. Or Demi, Balansula, just seconds, and then you want to try? How is that?
Am I loud and clear, comrade?
Yes, yes, you are. Usually you are. What's the problem today? Yeah.
Thank you for this time.
Okay, I'm sorry. We'll have to take your submission next week. Yes, Sister Demi, in closing, then we roll over. Thank you.
I think for me, my comment is like, this program has been so wonderful. I'll pay top dollar for this program. And my recommendation is for NUP leaders. They should be available for such topics. But the problem we have among Ugandans, once they elected as leaders, they are like, they know much. They don't need to attend. But this is what we need to understand, so that they can take the message back to other people. Because it's like now where we are, Professor just said the word negotiate. People in NUP, all the foot soldiers, all the bloggers, they are against the word negotiate. And when you talk about politics, negotiation is number one. If we are going to bring a reconciliation for our country, we shall have to negotiate our way on our terms. So leaders, they must be available here. And all those who say that, okay, elites, they have disappointed us. Yes, they have, but we cannot take away the concept that we need them on the board. The professor talked about policies. If we have policies in place, elite will be contained in that way. But if you leave it open for them because they are elite, they're going to do whatever they are going to do. Lastly, I didn't hear the stages, but hearing on submission, I can take stage 4 and stage 5. Ugandans, they don't want to hear self-assessment or self-analytical or reflection. They don't want to hear that where we are, the struggle, revolution has stalled. Some people, they have backslide. Instead of going back to the other comrade who said, people, they need to be reached out. We need to develop a mechanism, reaching out for people. It's not about joining for demonstration. It's not about raising money, but we must harmonize. We must get into the habit of checking on each other. It's so important. Also, we must get into the habit of self-analysis. And whether it's bad or good, it can help you. For me to be good, I have to use the negative to make myself better. But in Uganda, if you say no one is ready to take out a dictator, people, they are like, oh, that means you are putting down what we have done. But the reality, a dictator. So we need a political agenda. We need leaders to attend this lesson. You wait when they bring propaganda, you're going to see the number going up. But this is also a program for me. For me, I'll pay top dollar. And I'm going to watch it. I'm glad I have some time tomorrow. I'm going to watch it back and I'm going to write my essay, and the professor will have it. Because for me, I'm a student, and I like to learn. Thank you, Dorcas. God bless you. Bless you so much that you are the host, and you allow such topics to come, because that is what we need.
Bless you too, and all praises go to the American leadership class and the team. Thank you so much, Sister Mimi. Sister Mimi, Sister Demi, Sister Mimi, you come in. Let's Ben a few seconds. Thank you. Yes, Ben, just seconds. We are closing.
Before Ben comes in, Sister Dorcas, I want to say bye-bye to all our students, comrades, and colleagues. Thank you so much. Happy weekend. I salute.
Oh, thank you so much, Professor. I forgot to actually ask how many minutes you had. Do you have a closing remark before you leave us? Apologies.
Yes, my closing remarks is a stronger, better, healthier revolution relies on a stronger, better, healthier activists.
Thank you. And thank you so much to you and the team at the American Leadership class. We salute you. Thank you so much. Sister Mimi, please do come in. Thank you. Have a good weekend, Professor. Yes, Sister Mimi.
For me, it's just, we just need to buckle up. The other thing is that we can never win this battle without understanding why first of all, why we're in this, understanding how the holders operate, and being in one. They said social movements are collective action. If we are not one, if we are not working together, there's no way we are gonna get to the new Uganda when we're in so many pieces. Guys, we have to educate ourselves. We have to get to know the way the junta gets to know everything about us. You know, we also need to know everything about them. But if we say we are gonna be outside the building, and then we are gonna know the conversations that are going in, or the conversation going in the house, we are lying to ourselves. We need to employ some of the tactics they use. That is one thing I've learned. The other thing, I need to educate and mobilize. We have to mobilize all those people who were in the struggle and are gone. And we have to make sure that we get to the new Uganda. We do not give up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Mimi, for that. Comrades, we have come to the close. Ben, you only have seconds to pick that mic, and then we close. Thank you. Yes, Comrade Ben.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Dorcas. Thank you for organizing these meetings every Saturday. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. I thank Professor for the wonderful teaching. So allow me also to talk about the issue of elites. The elites are seriously disappointed us. You know, we have the judges. They know that Ugandans are in prison, and they were imprisoned by supporting Honorable Kyagulanyi, His Excellency President. They know that Ugandans, they committed no crime, but they still hiding the truth. Is it that the people we need in this struggle? We have the police officers. We have the doctors. You remember the doctors, sometimes back they went and knew from 7. Is it that the people really we need in this struggle? Seriously. So let us work with the foot soldiers. If they are ready to learn, we shall learn. We shall be educated and go ahead with the struggle. Lastly, Comrade Mari talked about the issue of checking on comrades. Comrades, we need to check on each other. You know, we have a lot of challenges. The struggle has a lot of challenges. We need to check on the people and see how things are going. So I will not have much to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Comrade Ben. Thank you so much, each and everyone. Thank you so much, Sister Mimi, Demi, Katie, Professor David, Comrade Godfrey, Kato, David, Eddie. I'm unable to mention each and every one of you. And for those that are watching on Facebook, thank you. Please share the link. The link is standard. It's the same link you used to join the Zoom. It will be the same. Just save that on your phones under your contacts. Somewhere put Stand Up Uganda or Uganda is Bleeding. Save the link. It's the same link for the last 3 years. And the time is 2 p.m. UK time. So wherever you travel, just convert 2 p.m. UK to that local time and do join the Zoom. A standard Zoom has been rolling for the last 3 years plus. So let us keep time. Let us be disciplined. Yes, hope we are all awake. Comrade Reggie or someone, please, or Modi, let's unmute people and ensure everyone is awake, and let's close this Zoom. Yes, the mics should all have a permission to unmute. Take us up. Yes, close us. Yes, somebody has audio. Is that for our consumption? If it isn't, please, you can mute. Yes, right. Yes, Reggie. Can you close us, please?
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
I can't hear you. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
It has been very
power.
People's moods are very low.
Today, let's be energetic again.
People power.
Our
power. Our power.
People power.
Our power.
Okay, struggle song. Oh, Lutalo, Galuete,
Yambale,
Galuwede tuliyambale ngule tulizimba
When the struggle
is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. We shall wear the victor's crown.
We shall wear the
victor's crown. When the struggle is over, we shall wear the victor's crown. In the new Uganda.
people power.
People.
Our power.
Our power. And our power.
Thank you,
Our
everybody.
power.
Thank you. Thank you so
People
much.
power.
All right.
Thank you. Museveni must go indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Museveni must go.
Museveni must go.
Thank you. Don't forget to tweet. And those in the USA, there is a protest on the 19th. Do not miss that. Comrades, do not forget to tweet, because every tweet helps and you have to stay active. Let's take action. Hopefully you've been empowered. You have a good weekend. Have a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're joining us from. See you next weekend. Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you, bye, and thanks for everything.
God bless you. Godspeed. Have a blessed.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Embeera yeeyo ffenna bannayuganda tulina okwongera okwezzaamu amaanyi, tulina okwongera okumatira nti nno buvunaanyizibwa bwaffe okutereeza ensi yaffe, nti lutalo lwaffe ffe tulina okululwana, tewali mulala agenda lutulwanira. Nze naawe ffenna bwe tugwattira wamu tuluwangula luno olutalo, ate tumanye kye twetaaga. Abalabe baffe abatulira tubagobe, oli waba mulabe ng'alemesa struggle okugenda mu maaso tuso tumugjewo then tugende mu maaso. Kuba okulwana nga oli akusika amataayi, akusika empale, takukkiriza kugenda, aba alemesa okutuuka ku nakyemalira okumugjawo. So bonna abatubeera nga batwetoolodde naye nga batusika batulemesa okutuuka amangu ku nakyemalira. So tubakube enkokola tubajjewo then tuteekoko ku nakyemalira njala bakunamufuna tutereze ebbanga lyaffe. Nga kibuvunaanyizibwa bwo obuvunaanyizibwa bwange ate atukisobola beera n'okkiriza ntukisobola. Era saa nobere ng'olindirira olunaku lwonna bw'ekyokola kukyawulira olunaku luzima olw'omuzigo kyekitafu ya dictator ekyandako kinanafu ya dictator tubikole paka muliza bubi paka lwanayenjoka anya gavumenti nekyerugwa olwo tutuuse gwehindo n'ombulira obulamu bagala nnyo mpaka katonda bwe zaba 10 tujja kuba tudda bigambo atayibeerawo.